As winter starts to show her frosty hands, you may think the growing season has come to an end, but it hasn't. This is just the beginning. Right now, you can be sowing your crops that will come up in spring. Let's start with broad beans. Now, if you're sowing indoors in a greenhouse, you're gonna get your packet, open up your packet, get your seed out, make a hole about 2 inches deep, put it in, cover it in. Just do the same, the best way of survival. Now, I heard a trick once, and it's to, when you get your bean, you want to make sure it's flat in the hole, so the water can actually get to it, because if it's upright, it can just flow past it. Okay? When done, you just want to water in. Next, I'm going to be sowing Basil Aristotle. Now, this is an interesting one because you would think that you can only sow it in summer or spring, but you can sow it all year round. It's just the best part about it. You sow it on a windowsill or in a greenhouse. And I'm going to be sowing it in a greenhouse today. Let's go. With basil, the seeds are quite small, so I'm going to be prepping the soil with water first. This will help prime the soil, and then I'm going to be pouring the seeds on top. I'm not going to be sprinkling them over. I'll be watering the seeds into the soil, and they'll sink down by themselves naturally. This will give them the best start to life. They'll be exposed to sunlight more, they'll be warmer, and they'll have a better chance of germinating. So that's what we're doing. There's not many in here. It's stingy. It's stingy. Goodness. Every little helps, innit? Next, we have the mighty spring onion. Now, these are beautiful, especially in wintertime. They'll grow up nice and strong right now, and you'll be able to snip them as you please during the winter. They will grow slowly at first, but as soon as February kicks in, they'll pick up in speed. So for the spring onions, I'm going to be using a smaller pot just because they grow up like grass, and I feel like it's easier to separate when they're all clumped together in a smaller pot. I can just pull them apart one by one, and it's just easier for me. So you can sow them in a big pot, a small pot, a seed starter tray, whatever you like, whatever suits you best. So once again, you're going to want to prep your soil with water and get your seeds. Just sow them on top of the soil like that. Water them in. Next, I'm sowing onions. What I'm going to do first with these is I'm going to prep the soil first with water. I don't see many people do this, but I feel like it helps the seeds germinate faster. So I'm going to prep the soil with water first, and then I'm going to sprinkle the onions on top of the soil and water them in. Because they're quite small seeds, a lot of people sprinkle more soil on top of them, but I'm literally just going to water it in and let the onions sink down themselves. Pour them out into my hand and sprinkle them all over the soil. Seed gets left behind. Is on top. So next we have shallots. These are one of my favorites. I love shallots and I love onions. You want to plant them like onions. So you want to get a shallot and you want to plant it. Oh, this one's starting to come through already. You want to plant it so this part is actually showing through the soil. You don't want to plant it too deep, otherwise the bulb will rot and this won't be able to get enough sunlight to come through. Let's go. Okay, so There are some weeds that I'm leaving in the soil just because I feel like it's good to have roots in the ground. Like, it's breaking up the soil still. There's no reason for me to pull it out right now. I'm just gonna let it live. Okay. Not everything needs to be sterile. This does not need to be a sterile bed like a lot of people want you to believe. I'm gonna start by moving the mulch out of the way, as I don't want to bury the mulch. So I can plant the shallots here. Just using a rake. Look at that. Then I'm using a fork just to break up the soil slightly. This is a no-dig bed, so I'm not trying to do anything extravagant. This is just so I can get in, because it is quite compressed here. I want to do both sides. Now, I am planting these quite close together. Once you're done, you want to get your rake, pull the mulch back over, so you're just covering up for the onions. Nothing crazy, but I want this gone. Wait, that's better. So once you're done, you just want to cover at the tops of the onions with your mulch again. Spread it back over. Some white dead nettle. I love myself some white dead nettle. And then you're gonna wanna water this in. I'm just gonna lay this here so I remember where I've just dug up, because already it's invisible. I'll also put a brick. Put a brick here so I know as well. So I'm just gonna start watering. The good thing about winter is water is in abundance. It doesn't have to be precise as winter. It's not gonna evaporate very fast. It's actually going to soak in, which is what we want. And I need more water. Move this now. That's all watered in. Last but not least, we have the bulb. So these ones that I have here are alliums, and they are the perfect ones to sow now. You can sow them in autumn or early winter, and they'll come up for you in spring. When there's no color, this will be a beautiful addition to your garden. Okay, so I'm just getting a rake, and I'm gonna pull the mulch away from the grass. I'm gonna get my fork to break up the soil slightly. And I guess the easiest rule of thumb is, the smaller the bulb, the shallower you plant it. You wanna make sure it's pointy side up, roots down. This is a weird one. I don't even know what way this goes. See, sometimes it's hard to tell when they look like that. It's very hard to tell. I'm just gonna assume this pointy side up. And if they're two, it'll find its way to the surface anyway.
Then just cover back over with the rake.
I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. This has been Grown Out UK. If you want more videos like this, like, subscribe and hit the bell notification for more. Bye guys.